live, we're live. You know, I like to do this thing every Sunday where I'm sitting here chatting away and then don't even know we've gone live. But I just want you to see that that is real. So, just in case you didn't know, we didn't record this because then we would have cut it out. For some reason, my brain couldn't spell entrepreneurs. I've been typing it for days and days. And now today it says, oh, how do you spell that? Anyway, I am interviewing some people. I love these people because all week I've been reading about them and then wondered why am I not what they call an entrepreneur? And then I said, but I am an entrepreneur. What are you saying? Why are you saying these things to yourself, Sherry? And wondered why. So we got some sort of play here. So I'm just going to turn off something. I told you, it's like that. What are you saying? Why are you saying these things to yourself, Sherry? So we've got the Facebook Live in the background, ladies. We've got some sort of play here. So I'm just going to turn off something. I told you, it's like that. What are you saying? Why are you saying these things to yourself, Sherry? So we've got the Facebook Live in the background, ladies. We've got some sort of play. Okay, bear with me. Why can't I turn it off? Why are you saying these things to yourself? We've got the Facebook Live in the background, ladies. So we will be there in a minute. Bear with me. There you go. Oh, that makes me laugh. The things I do to myself. So let me start again. Hello, everybody. I'm Sherry Dixon. We're on Let's Talk with Sherry Dixon. And I was speaking to my friend Yvonne Witter for a few weeks now. And I said, I'm going to bring you on my show. And then I thought, what am I going to talk to her about? Because she does so many things. Awesome woman. And then I rang her and I said, I'd like to talk to you about something, but I think I'm going to stick with being an entrepreneur because I know that's exactly what you are. But I want to talk about how the hell did you do it? You're always traveling. You're always someplace that frightens me, you know, just to go and do work. The word work abroad frightens me, forgetting that I am actually working abroad, but you know, this is the Caribbean, I know it. And so I started to talk to her about it, and then we came up with this idea. We should talk to people who are business entrepreneurs about why it's okay to go and work abroad, why it's right to broaden the space that we're in, right? Rather than, and I'm going to put you in gallery view so that we could see all your lovely faces and not just Shakina that it was focused on. Shakina, you had front page views there, girl. So I wanted to know more about people who work abroad. And so Yvonne told me some nice people I should speak to, Shakina being one and Tonya being the other one. When I was reading their CVs, I was like, Lord Jesus, my God. I said the Caribbean way, Lord Jesus, and then my God. I wanted to, and I said, I got to talk to them. And I started even telling people I'm going to talk to them before they even said yes. That's how it was. So welcome to Let's Talk with Sherry Dixon on this lovely Sunday afternoon, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. And thank you, Yvonne, for referring me. Thank you.
Absolutely. Welcome.
Yes, thank you, Yvonne.
Okay, so I'm going to start with Yvonne Witter first. Normally what I do is get you guys to tell people about yourselves. Who are you? Who are you, Yvonne Witter?
Oh, where do I start? Okay, I'm a mother of one. I'm a divorcee twice.
I need you to turn up your microphone, babes.
Do I?
Slow. There you go. Or just speak up.
Yeah, maybe. Any better?
Just speak up, honey.
Okay. Yeah, so yeah, I was saying I'm a mother of one and I'm a divorcee twice. I have an adult male child. And I've been working in enterprise development for about 20 odd years. And in around 2009, 10, I decided I wanted to do more international work. So prior to that, I had been working in the UK solely, looking at developing startups and business growth, seminars, consultancy, coaching, working with experts in the field, you know, expert accountants, experts in various disciplines to deliver on these programs. All governments, you know, I'm doing competitive tendering with government for contracts to deliver on regeneration programs. And in 2010 around, I thought I wanted to do more international work. And I went off, I think, to Ghana, Cameroon, and I really liked it, actually. And then I wanted to do much more in-depth work. And my work overseas is the same as I do here. I capacity build organizations, either private sector or NGO, non-government organizations. Just look at how their processes, how they're running, how they can improve, you know, people who want to start. You know, one of my talents is somebody coming to me with an idea and me fleshing it out into a credible business or social enterprise proposition. So essentially that's the work that I've been doing. And I've done that in the Far East, various African countries, the Caribbean. I think the only continent I haven't been to is Australia. I've worked in Brazil as well.
Wow. See what I mean? She's done so much and she's doing it in all these continents that I haven't got to yet. I've done the Caribbean though, man. So I've got there. And I went to Africa to interview Nelson Mandela, but it's not the same like yours. So thank you. Thank you for giving us that little clip. But you know I'm going to go around and then I'll come right back to you, okay? So Shakina,
yes.
can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how did you sort of get into this business and what is your business?
My business is quite a few things. I'm a mother of 3 grown-up children. And my journey into business started when I was about 22 years old. I was a fashion designer, couture fashion design to start with. So I've been doing business since I was 22 years old. But the legal business came in 1994 when I went to study law. Quite by accident. And in 1999, I started my own legal consultancy because I thought that was the best way to do it rather than just fighting in court. I thought there was a lot more scope doing it that way. So really after the Lawrence inquiry and institutional racism, there was a lot of contracts to train the police and other public authorities on the law and how to implement the law when you're dealing with the public and community cohesion and social cohesion. So I got involved in a lot of that work. And so when I started a business, I got headhunted by a lot of authorities to do that. And I myself was on the police authority for 8 years, which was about implementing policing in your local community. So I served 2 terms of office in Northamptonshire, which led me on to the National Police Authority as well, where we implemented the stop and search leaflets of Know Your Rights, particularly for young people, young black males who are being stopped on the street disproportionately by the police. Then, of course, during that time, I was also visiting Gambia and knew that this was going to be my retirement home, which it is now. And just a few years before I left the UK in 2016. A year before I left, I started a holistic health business, making natural products for the African skin, which doesn't contain any chemicals, etc. And yeah, so just been doing things like that really, but now find that I'm branching out into property management and land sales and a lot of other things in Gambia because the opportunities have arisen that way.
Yeah, just like that. And now I'm going into property, you know, not that she's done all these other things, but I'm now going into property. Thank you so much for telling us about that. We'll come back to you. Tonya, tell us about you. Who is Tonya and what does Tonya do?
Yes, so I consider myself a global entrepreneur. I have been doing global business for over 11 years now, but my journey did not start that way. So I had an insurance. I don't even know where to start with my story because it was like totally by accident that I am where I am today. But I've always been an entrepreneur and I was running an insurance agency. And I had a bachelor's degree in marketing. And so I thought, let me go back for my MBA just in case something doesn't work out with the business. And if I have to get back into the workforce, I want to at least have an MBA so that I can be competitive. And so I went and I studied my MBA and I majored in finance, of all things, because I'm not a numbers type of girl. So it was just really strange that I would major in finance. But I just thought that it went with what I was doing at the time, being in insurance. And so an opportunity came up at the school where they had a study abroad to China. And so for some reason, it just really interested me and I wanted to go on this trip. And so I went and I spoke with an advisor and I said, well, I'm not an international business major because the trip was for the international business students. And she said, well, that's okay. You can just go and take the course as an elective. I went to China and it totally changed my life. The minute I got back and went back to school, I went to the office again and I said, I want to change my major to international business. And so shortly after finishing my MBA, I started an international business consultancy. So my company, IBS Global Consulting, specializes in helping primarily small and medium-sized companies expand internationally because as my journey continued and I traveled to all these different countries, I saw so many opportunities, but I wasn't seeing a lot of small businesses. And I think it was because a lot of times small businesses think, oh, I'm too small, I can't go global. And so you see all these large companies that were expanding internationally. So I really wanted to focus on helping small businesses and identifying business opportunities and growing their business on an international scale. But even prior to that, I have founded a nonprofit organization, and that's Michigan Association for Female Entrepreneurs. And so in that work, I'm working with thousands of women entrepreneurs, but not many of them were doing business internationally. I was pretty much the only woman, or maybe there were maybe a couple other women, maybe at best, who were doing business internationally. And even as I traveled and I would go to trade events and I would travel for business, I would see that there was not a lot of women in that space. So I saw that there was a huge gap. And so I said, maybe I can do something about this. And so 3 years ago, I started leading delegations of women entrepreneurs to countries around the world to help expose women to entrepreneurship, doing business globally. Because for me, I know that's what it took for me. It was not for that exposure that I had when I went on that trip to China, I would not have known the massive opportunities. And so I felt the same. I said, well, maybe if these women were exposed. And so I started leading delegations and I started with a group of 14 women because I said, well, let me first see how I can manage 14 women in a foreign country by myself. The program filled up in like 2 weeks. And then I had a wait list of another 30 women who wanted to go. And so what I realized is that there are women who want to explore and want to do business globally if only they had access and had the information. And so that's what I do today, working with not only just small businesses, but also my passion is helping women entrepreneurs to go global as well.
Wow. Just like that. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it on my own. So now I'll do it with other people. Tonya, I don't know if it's the internet playing up today because all of us seem to be having trouble with our sound. But everybody's saying that you're very low. So if you could just play around, turn up your volume.
Let me make sure my volume is up as high as it can go.
I don't know. You might have to shout a bit.
Okay, is this better?
Yes.
That's much better.
Okay, great.
It wasn't like that when we started, but the internet plays up. First it was Shakina, then it was you. And I know, do I sound okay, everybody? You can tell.
Yeah, you sound absolutely fine.
Great.
Good. Well, I just want to say hello to some of the people that are on there that watch every week. Jeanette Stewart, Lillian Larty, thank you very much. Dawn Martin, June Gilbert, Lillian Larty, Nadine White, Pauline Gale, who comes in every week. Everybody's saying hello, awesome ladies. Sherry Ann, as Yvonne and Tonya's volumes come up low, it would also be best for other guests to mute themselves when they are not speaking. Okay? I'm learning. I'm learning. It's only my 21st one. But when others are speaking, then maybe mute your mics. Yeah?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I don't know what's going on. Coming back to you, Yvonne. What is an entrepreneur? I think that there's a lot of people in this forum that I know that basically started off doing a thing, and then they decided this is working and they're going to do a business. But really, is that what an entrepreneur is, or is that just a business?
It's like a piece of string. I kind of saw someone advertising some kind of learning material for small business, and I purchased it because I wanted to see what was in it. And as it happens, it was like 90% of it was blank pages for a journal and not much business advice. I mean, it's quite an incredible piece of thing that people are paying. I think it's £15 for. But I wanted to see what was out there. And in this thing, the reason why I mentioned this book is because it talks about hustle. And I was like, hustle, side hustle. I mean, what is? Do you know what I mean? So I think it's everything's gone all convoluted, in my opinion, because and it depends on where you are in the world as well, in terms of regulation, and what you want to do and who your market is. Because, you know, I know that if I didn't have a limited company, and all sorts of procedures in place, I could not negotiate government contracts. I couldn't compete with others to secure contracts from central government or local government. Okay, so when people talk about this side hustle thing, so maybe it's like doing things from home, making up portions, or but even that needs to be tested. Again, it depends where you are in the world, how regulated the business environment is, what criteria, because I know I've been involved in business since I was about 9 years old when I was taken to Jamaica as a kid, and my parents were running restaurant and bar. The whole family, everybody returned to Jamaica in the 70s. So I'm one of the few people whose family never stayed in England. So I've been in a business environment from a teeny weeny person, and in those days in Jamaica, they weren't even paying tax. Do you know what I mean? So I think there are credible businesses. There are businesses that have legs, and in the Black community in London, businesses come up and they fail. The failure rate is very, 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 very high, and the failure rate is high because people don't have the tools, they don't have the skills, they don't understand the processes, and also there are issues, of course, with bank lending and other things. But more importantly, they just don't have the tools, because people come from often different cultures and come into this environment, this UK environment, and believe that they can just do a thing. Just there's a shop, so they just start sell food in it. They're not licensed to sell food in it. The shop was there for something. I mean, I've come across them in my work. The shop was there for something else. A man gave a thing, gave a man a money, and we're good to go. And then it shut down in a few months' time.
Because they didn't do the right processes to open a business. And that's the thing that I particularly wanted to talk about. Everybody can have an idea. Everybody can open a cook shop. Everybody can maybe do dress designing. But there are certain strategic steps that you're supposed to make. Well, go on, Yvonne.
If you want to grow, if you intend to grow the business and sustain the business, yes, But okay. I've met so many clients who think that. Even recently on one of these groups, Facebook groups, somebody was saying how, they're really vexed because their friends are not buying from them. I mean, how do you know your friends even want what you're selling? And if your friends and your family are the market you're looking at, then you haven't even got a business, because your market needs to be so much wider. So there's a lot of work to be done, I feel.
First.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that people don't realize. Even the name of your business is really important. For example, I was looking through Facebook the other day, and there's this photographer is like Buxom something. Hello, what does that mean? You know, so when the wrong type of people call you buxom woman, then you're going to get vexed because you gave yourself that name. Think about your name strategically before you go into business. Shakina.
Yes.
So when you started all these businesses, obviously you're great to speak to from the legal side. What is it that you think that people do wrong when they start their businesses?
I'm going to pick up on a few things Yvonne said. I'm going to speak from an African concept. And I don't disagree with what Yvonne said, because I used to give the similar sort of advice in the UK. However, she's right. It depends what part of the world you're in. Now here, where people have to depend on hand to mouth and feeding their family a different way, they haven't got time for regulations. Regulations stifle their business. They've got to set up a little ting on the side and work their business in that way and earn money just for the next plate of food for the family. They haven't got time to go through regulations and things like that. They can't afford to go through regulations, but they can, you know, go to the side of the road with a little cart or whatever they might do and set up something and make some money for that day. Now, that business can go on for years and years. They may not earn millions from it, but they can feed their family every day from it. I would still call them entrepreneurs. They may not be the Richard Bransons or the Alan Sugars, but when I speak to many people here in Gambia, they say, oh, my father had this business before me and I've taken it over. Now, would we regard a little shack selling, I don't know, some tea or something as a successful business? Well, for that family it is, because it's gone from one generation to the other. So it really does depend, and I agree with Yvonne, that it depends what part of the world you're in and how regulations affect you or not affect you. So I would say that definitely here in Africa, what I've seen, there are successful businesses, if you want to call it that, and there are businesses to feed their family. Two different concepts.
I would say they're both successful. That's the only difference.
Yes.
Because I think any business which is sustainable is successful. However it operates.
Yeah.
That's
okay, all. Food for thought there. I like that. Tonya, we're talking about women entrepreneurs, or we were talking about women entrepreneurs the other day, and I even talked about this with Yvonne. There are not many statistics. The only statistics that I could find was that 40% of the US businesses are women owned. I can't find it for worldwide. And somebody said to me, that's because they don't register themselves effectively. They never, and I'm hoping that hopefully in Guyana, the Women's Chamber of Commerce can do that so that we've got a good register of women business owners. Because if you are a women business owner, why are you not saying that you are?
Yeah.
Tonya?
I think it's a lot of informal businesses. I think that some women, due to certain circumstances, maybe they start this little thing on the side to, whether it's to supplement their income, or, you know, maybe they have kids at home and so they want to do something at home to be with their kids, but it hasn't really formalized into a business and they're not counted, unfortunately. And then we have the new, you know, the side hustle, the gig economies and things like that. And I think for a lot of those types of entrepreneurs, because I do still see them as entrepreneurs, they're just not formally counted in the system because they are, in a sense, informal. They're operating informally. Maybe they haven't registered the business, but this is something that they're doing on the side to supplement income or to make a means with whatever the current situation that they may be in. So that could be why you don't see those numbers when you do your research.
Yeah, okay, because it says here 40% of US businesses are women owned. Women started women started 1,821 net new businesses every year last year. Last year actually went up. 64% of new women-owned businesses were started by women of color last year. Latina women owned businesses grew more than 87%, not Black women businesses, all right? So the question was being asked at that time in this seminar that I was in, can a woman be a successful entrepreneur? And I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Of course, there are loads of them. But of course, they don't know that because we're not registering as women business owners, Tonya.
Yeah, and you're not really seeing a lot of those success stories. And that's one of my passions. And that's one of the things that I try to do is really share the stories of women, share those stories, because you're not hearing those success stories. You hear about men who are starting successful businesses or running successful companies, but you don't hear a lot of these stories about the women, especially minority women. So that's one of the things that I'm looking to do with my Women Going Global movement, is really showcasing and sharing the stories of these women who are successful entrepreneurs, but they're just, the stories are just not being heard.
Yeah. What do you, Shakina and Yvonne, what do you think that more women can do more than what Tonya said? Should they show up more?
I think some of it is to do with the confidence of women as well, because when you're in a world that's very patriarchal, very male dominated, sometimes women are afraid to put their head above the parapet and do something that might be competitive to males, or it might be seen as you can't do this. So I think sometimes it's about confidence from women to go out on a limb and do things, especially when you're juggling a family as well. Now, the three of us women, maybe yourself, Sherianne, you know, we have families, and, you know I've had to juggle a family while running a business from the age of 22. So sometimes you don't want to put your head above the parapet too much because you don't want to be shot down. You don't want people to say, well, why are you doing this and why are you doing that? You should be concentrating on A, B, C, and D. And some women do get that. So I think sometimes there's a lack of confidence from women to be out there showing what they're doing. I think that could be the difficulty as well.
Sorry, Yvonne, go on.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of women out there doing amazing things while raising a family, you know, looking after children. Often women are also carers for elderly. There's sandwich in between. Another thing I've come across in my work is that I've come across families where women want to do a business. It's always been their dream, but their husband doesn't support it, even though that person, she may have had a redundancy money. And in those situations, I find it really sad, you know. Often they've got kids who are grown up, and the kids are often supportive, but the man says no. But so I think Shakina's right. There is an issue around confidence, and another thing that happens to women a lot, and I always say to my clients, you know, when women are working from home, a lot of people dump on them. Can you take so and so to the doctors? Can you do this? Can you keep Johnny? Can you? They just don't respect the fact that she's working from home. You're home. Your home, so therefore you're available. And it's something that women have to it's tough because we're carers, we're givers, we're loving, we're kind, we want to help. But it's so awful, you know, you can go to the post office and collect this because you're home, you know. So I do feel for women. Yeah. This, you know, so we can be really put upon when we're working from home by other members of the family.
Agree.
Yeah, you're right.
And if I could just add to that, what Yvonne's talking about, a lot of that discouragement, when it's coming from people close to you, when it's coming from your own family, your own circle of friends that's telling you, why are you doing that? Go get a real job. Oh, that's stupid. Yes. When you hear that from the people closest to you, and when the people closest to you are not supporting you in your endeavors, it's a discouragement. discouragement.
Yeah, it's hard.
Discouragement. And then you start feeling like, well, nobody else is going to like it. I can't even get my own family to like it or to buy my product. So it's really a discouragement. And a lot of that comes from within their own circle, in their own family.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, that is so good. I like that, because I certainly know that when I first started my business, I had a makeup workshop. I was doing two things. I was magazine editor and I had a beauty workshop. And I can actually say that not one of my friends came to even have their toes painted.
Really?
And I'm a popular woman. They didn't come.
Really?
No, they never. And if you all are watching, whoever you are, family, you should feel shame, because they never did. Because everybody always says, I don't know if they expect a discount, and I really don't even have the answer. Or I can do it myself. I think there's some element of competition with your friends, that they don't feel that they need to come to you. And I know that not just for me, but I know other members of the family that's opened up businesses and never really got the full support. It's almost like you're begging them to come, and you have to put that on with some music and some food to get them to support you.
Yeah.
And I get that. Sharon says she's a business entrepreneur as well that works around the world. She says, in order to become a successful female business owner or entrepreneur, you certainly will need a solid set of core skills that will allow you to actually do the work. However, many women have similar skills, but not all of them by any means are cut out to be entrepreneur. This is in answer to my questions before, because being an entrepreneur is completely different to running your own business, I think. Yvonne might differ to that.
I don't think so, really. It's about entrepreneurial people tend to be ideas people. They tend to have ideas, because there can be somebody who's quite efficient at running a McDonald's, because McDonald's is a franchise. Kentucky's a franchise. You've got Pizza Express, I think, they're all franchises. So you've got people who, if you give them all the set of rules, because McDonald's has every single thing is documented, every process. And so people who buy into those franchises, they've got good managerial skills probably, but they're not entrepreneurial in the sense that they come up with an idea. Like I decided I'm going to set up a limited company to deliver the service I delivered because I saw a gap in the market. So, and those people are not, you know what I mean? They're not like that. So in that sense, I suppose, you've got a point in the sense that there is that difference. But in relation to about skills.
It's my idea. Yeah. That's how I see it, right? It's my idea, and I've opened this big business, but now I just need managerial skills, and I will hire the manager and the people in management to run the business the way that I see it, or the way that I want it. So I think I'm the entrepreneur, and everybody else is working for the entrepreneur. That's the way I see it, but I might be wrong. Apparently, the top 10 challenges faced by entrepreneurs today is cash flow management, hiring employees, time management, delegating tasks. I know some of them that are choosing what to sell, their marketing strategy. Yes, we know that they're marketing. I see them out there, all those food shops. I'm not talking about them. I have issues with them, but their marketing strategy is not good. Capital is also a big thing. Strapped budget. When you're taking from Peter to pay Paul, and self-doubt. Self-doubt is the biggest one, because one of the things that we find that with women, I'm talking about women specifically, when they start their business, they know that they've got a good brand or a good product, but they're not always marketeers. All right, let me use an example. Okay. The woman with the chicken, Yvonne, the woman with the chicken. She's making chicken nice and sweet, but only the people in the family knows, because she doesn't understand how to use basic marketing to make it bigger.
I think people, I think it's bigger than that. I think There are good seamstresses, there are good cooks, there are good also, they're good plumbers, they're good everything. But that does not mean that because you're a good cook or whatever, you have the skills to run a business.
Mm.
And there is a knowledge gap. When people decide that they want to turn their passion into a business, or they want to become an entrepreneur, they may be really good at this thing. And I used to say to people, focus on making, because if you can make 4 dresses to pay for someone to do your marketing, you're good to go. But if you're going to try and spend hours and hours and hours trying to figure out how to do it, in my opinion, you're wasting time.
Mm.
But people starting a business, they're bootstrapping, they don't want to, spend any money, and they believe that they can do it all. I've met many people who look at me and turn their nose up and say, "Me, I'm not paying nobody." So I just think we're right. They can do what they want to do. I focused on what I was good at. I'm a trainer. I know how to organize events. I knew how to do what I did. I had an accountant because I know, even though in my business, because it's 4 years account, I know it's going to take me 4 times as long, and I'm still going to be a penny out when I finish doing my balance sheet.
That sounds like me. I'm rubbish.
Yeah. So even though I know that, I just think no. So an accountant did that, and then I focused on making money. You focus on making money to paying for the skills that you really, really can't do well. You're buying those things, and that's what I think people should think about doing, because there is this. I think Michael Gerber wrote a book about it. There is a knowledge gap. There is a knowledge gap between doing a particular thing really well and how to then monetize it.
Mm-hmm. And looking at your Tonya and Shakina after, what do you see is the biggest problems that people do? I mean, Yvonne's listed one with the marketing, or getting an accountant. What do you think are other things that people really should look at and focus on when you start a business?
I think the difference between a business and a passion is quite important as well. Sometimes your passion, you might think, oh yes, I can make a business out of it, but it's not enough for a business. It's just a passion, it's just a hobby, but it's not a business idea that's going to be sustainable. It really has to be something that people want, people need, and you can provide it. I make natural skincare products. Yeah. Now, it started off as something I needed for myself, but it soon became something that people said, well, if you're making it for yourself, why not make it for other people and sell it? So a passion turned into a business in that way because people needed it and because it works. Now, sometimes you can have that passion, but it really doesn't fit into the business accoutrements of what a successful business is. So I think people have to recognize the difference between, okay, that's my passion, I like doing it, but is it really a business idea that can be successful? And I think you've really got to look at that properly, maybe by doing some market research to find out, what people want, what they need, have you got what it takes? Is it going to be something long lasting, or is it a fly by night idea? Because I think for a successful business, if it's just going to be something that's going to last for a year, it's not a business, it's still a passion. If it's something that you can see going on for 5, 10, 15 years, then it's a business. So when I started the legal consultancy, I knew there was two areas. One, the training that I could offer to the public service in terms of implementing law into their policy, practice and procedures, but also our own people who didn't understand policy, practice and procedures in the workplace. So there were 2 areas there that I knew I could offer to people to save them from getting into trouble in a funny sort of way, by giving them the information that they needed to either challenge the workplace or just watch their back in the workplace, if you want to call it that. So I had to look at those areas before I started the consultancy.
I like that. Tonya?
Yeah, so to piggyback a little bit on what she just said, for me, I see the biggest issue is around the market research, because as an entrepreneur, or if you're a creator or you're a developer, you've developed this amazing product. You have this great thing, but guess what? It's only great to you. You haven't tested it in the market to see if the market think that it's great. It's just great to you. So I find that that's one of the biggest mistakes that an entrepreneur make. They don't do the market research to find out what the needs are and if this great product that's great to them is going to be great to other people. And so then you find entrepreneurs that kind of move around to different things because they're trying these different things out, and it's like a trial and error. But if they just took the time to do the research up front, they would know early on what works, what doesn't work, what the market want, and what the market doesn't want. So that's one of the biggest issues that I see.
Yeah, that's a really great example as well. All of you've made great examples. Just again, let's say some hello to some people, because I like doing that. It's the right thing to do. People take time to listen to you guys. And I know you've given Ava Maria Lindo says valuable nuggets are being shared in this discourse. So thank you so much, ladies. Hello, David Constantine. Ava also says the point highlighted by Yvonne on the knowledge gap was so on point. Hello, Leanne Centorbin, Lucia Barry, all of these people are business people. Even a business, this is Elaine Henry, even a business that is set up for short space of time can be seen as successful. I.e., for example, a set-up shop just for Christmas season in January, for the Christmas season that closes in January can be seen as successful as long as it does what it was set up to do. Great point. Hello, Sandra Adebayo. Ladies, I mean, because you're really trainers of businesses, of people going into businesses. What have you ever come across something in your time that you would never do again, that it was the biggest mistake that you've ever made, and you'd like to share with us? Because obviously you just don't go.
I had when you set up Women on the Crossroads, and I think you did it on a Ning platform initially.
Yes. Right.
I mean, remember prior to that, I had Enterprise for Women on a Ning platform.
That's right.
And I had loads of women on it, and it was because Facebook wasn't what it is now. We were ahead of the curve with that, with the networking side. And and I said to somebody, I want to, because somebody who we both know had got someone to really take her site off the Ning platform. I won't name the person, and it looked really good. And I wanted to raise my game too, So I had this woman who convinced me that she could do it and retain my members.
Yes, you couldn't.
I lost everything. Because what she built, what she built as an alternative, never worked.
Never worked.
3 grand money.
How much?
3K.
Oh,
I did a whole rebranding thing as well.
Well, I did that too with my Women on the Crossroads Ning. Number one, people are saying you need to make money out of this. What's the point of having this platform and not even charging them £1? You don't want to charge them any money because they get, well, the one thing to learn is that people like stuff when it's free. When you start charging them £1 to be on there, they suddenly decide, I don't know if I need to be on here. And then you lose half the people coming off because they like free advice, right?
Yeah.
But I came off of the Ning platform and again lost 5,000 followers, but I gained it back.
You built them back. You built it back. Yeah, I think I let it go. I got ill. I got breast cancer in 2013, so I got ill. Probably if I didn't fall ill, I might have been able to recover. But yeah, I think that was the worst business decision that I ever made, frankly.
Okay. Shakina, have you done something like that? Have you had any stumbles along the way?
I think the mistake I made when I was younger, running the fashion business, was trying to do everything. Trying to design, trying to be on the machine sewing, trying to do the fashion shows, trying to do the marketing.
And the accounts.
doing everything,
Well,
everything.
you know, while I was on the machine, I should have really had someone out there doing something else, but I was trying to run around and, you know, it meant I had to stay up sometimes all night making, and it didn't work. Although the business still lasted for over 20 years, but it was taxing, it was hard work because I was trying to run around doing everything.
You had the energy.
You had the energy, but
Not
then you
anymore.
get tired. And I'm looking online and I can see my friend Shirley McNeal, who is the publisher of Keep the Faith magazine. And
Yeah, I know Shirley.
Know her, and I used to write. And many a times we would have had conversations about this business is too much. I don't know why I'm doing this. Because there are days when you get up and you think, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Because you're a one-man band.
Yes.
And really what we're saying is that you can't be a one-man band. You need to reach out and get somebody to do some parts of your business, even if it's sending out the emails, even if it's the branding side of it, helping you to, or the promotion, because we're doing social media now, and social media is big, it's free, right? But it takes a lot of energy. Do any of you use social media for your branding?
I do, but I cheat. I use the children because I'm not very good at all this social media stuff. So you let the young people deal with that.
Okay, Tonya, do you?
Like, is it about the mistake I made in the business? So for me, I think one of the things that I could have did a little bit different is that I jumped right in when I started my consultancy. Remember, I started my business right after, finishing my MBA. And as you all know, book knowledge and real world knowledge, they're not the same thing. And so I jumped right in. I jumped right into this business instead of maybe going to work for a consultancy for a year to just kind of gain that experience and know how the inner workings of a consultancy work. I did not do that. I jumped right in. Now I still ended up, where I needed to be, but it just took me so much longer to get there. And it cost me a lot of money and mistakes made because I didn't know. Had I just took the time and maybe got the experience before starting the business, it could have saved me a lot of time and a lot of money.
Yeah, I hear you.
I think the one that I can think that I did, I'm sure I made more than one, but I was a magazine editor, and then of course I was a makeup artist as well, well recognized makeup artist. I didn't want to give up either one. And so I decided I was going to take this shop, and we spent money on it and did it up. It was like a sort of cute little boutique, gray and pink and black, and all the energy went into that. My cousin had the beauty side, the massage side of it, and beauty treatments downstairs. It was perfect, but I couldn't be there all the time. And the worst thing I did was call it my name. Why are you calling it your name? Because when you call it your name, people want you. And I had my staff there working, but the people wouldn't make appointments to see them. So I was paying for staff in the week who was using out the products, doing their own nails and their own treatments. And I couldn't be there. I could only be there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So and Sunday. In the end, I had to give up one or the other, and I gave up the shop, which was that. When you have to give up something, it's hard, but it's even worse when you give up something with your own name. That's to me even harder. I have a question for the panel. This is from Lillian Larty. In this time of COVID, what would they recommend about setting up a business now? Tips, please, tips.
I think there are loads of opportunities. COVID has presented a world of opportunities. You just have to be really sharp, there's so many. Offhand, menopause brain is not firing up any ideas. But if you look around,
I like that, menopause brain. How many of you ladies have menopause brain out there?
Oh gosh, it's the story of our life.
Yeah, there is always an opportunity, when there's a recession. I mean, I started my limited company during a recession, actually, during the last recession. But so there are opportunities. You just have to look at them. Lots of things have gone online. Lots of things are home delivered now. You just, you just have to, and you may be able to body with somebody to fit into a supply chain to deliver stuff. You might want to look at international markets, importing stuff or exporting stuff. You know what I mean? I think there are opportunities. How you would operate in this time, similar as you would before, but much is done online, and you can save a lot of money by doing things online. Because look at us here. Sherry's in Ghana, I'm in the UK, Tonya is in the USA, and Shakina is in Gambia. In Gambia. And so can you imagine if we had to get on a flight, get together to to create a conference with speakers, so I think there is a great deal of scope at the moment. It's just about finding where you can position yourself.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. Sorry, Tonya, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say one thing. The thing about an entrepreneur, we will find opportunities out of the world's greatest challenges. We know how to turn that challenge into an opportunity just by taking a look around and seeing what the needs are, what are the demands, and creating an opportunity. How can I solve a problem? What are some of the problems and how can I solve it? So yeah, I agree with Yvonne. It's a ton of opportunity. Just take a look around and see what the needs are. Where's the gaps, and just fill that.
I wish I was 20 years younger. Jesus. I wish I was. Honestly, there's so much to do. But like you say, here's the thing with Cherry entrepreneurs and business people. As Tonya said, I can see them.
Yeah, you can see them all the time. I can actually see it with other people's businesses. I'm like, why don't you do this? And why don't you do that? And they're like, Sherry, can we have a meeting? I'm like, yeah, of course, But because I have to remember to charge, but I can always see business with other people and how they can do their businesses much better. I have a friend in Guyana who started an online teaching people how to sew online. You can go to school online. So many things. I'm speaking to colleges. As a lecturer in colleges in England online. There are so many ways that you can pitch yourself, and this is really important. The reason why I'm talking about that, because there are many people there that are out of work. I spoke last week, I think we spoke to Danny Blechner. I said it right, Danny. I call people all different names. And June says, I'm here with my menopause brain.
And June Daly.
Yeah, no, this is June Gilbert. She says she's here with a menopause brain.
Hi, June.
Danny says, agreed. There are lots of opportunities for small businesses during this time. Now's a better time than ever to set up your business. And I actually agree. Elaine Henry says this is the best time to set up your business if you have an idea and you're going against the tide. And one of the reasons why I think it's a good time, because we can't go out and party and mess around and do all the things that we do. I mean, I know you guys in England have a second wave, Yvonne, second wave of COVID coming, but I'm sure that Shakina and myself, it's different when you're over these parts of the world. I don't even know what lockdown means over here. I know that people are trying to stay away from each other, but everybody's at work. Most people are at work. If you're at home, you're still at work, So it's completely different when you're in the islands and perhaps in Africa as well. And Tonya, I don't know what it's like where you are, but I do know that people are spending more time online looking at businesses. That's why we get great audiences to do these webinars. And I think that we maybe should try doing a bit more webinars if you're a specialist in something. People will pay their £5 or £10. I don't even know what people charge nowadays to listen to people who are experts. That's a business in itself.
Yeah, it is indeed. Yeah, I'm setting up a mastermind group. I'm inviting, starting 1st of October. It's a lunchtime mastermind group. So I'm kind of dipping my toes back in this thing.
Good. You've been missing too long.
I know.
I don't know where you've been.
Yeah. Anyway, yes, I'm put my toes back in. So yeah, so mastermind group, 1st of October, every lunchtime on Zoom.
Okay.
So they can go to, it's on Just Tickets. Or
Just Tickets, which is
yeah.
another business that started not in COVID, but it's about supporting friends, and we do support our friends. It is, if there's a reason to, why not? You can actually see that this business is a successful business, Just Tickets, and yet people refuse to support it. I don't understand what's going on. And it can't be that they just don't know about it, because everything's being shared on the internet. Just support a friend, buy a fan, buy anything, just do something.
Just Tickets an alternative. It's an alternative to Eventbrite, in case people don't know. And I've also put it up on my website, so people can also book from my website.
Please do. Well, ladies, we're coming to the end of the hour, but before we move on, is there any specific area or anything that you would like to talk to your audience about? We've got a nice audience of men and women, and you know that this will, every week, I always say, oh, I don't know how many people are listening. We're always hitting the thousands and the 2000s. So it's important that we keep on doing. I mean, I could be sitting here in the Caribbean eating my mangoes, but why? It's part of education. I love sharing, caring. So I'd ask you guys, what would you like to say before you leave? What is your tip? What is your one thing? What is your what's the word? Your mango. What is your thing that people must have? Right?
Yeah,
tell them.
I would just say really taking advantage of technology and what that can do for your business, especially in these times. If you have a knowledge or expertise around a certain thing, putting that online. I'll be launching my online academy, my Think Global Training Academy, helping companies understand the challenges and how to overcome those challenges when doing business internationally. So taking your knowledge and putting that on a platform that you can help other people with the knowledge and your know-how. Something really easy that you can do, and it's especially good in these times and what we're going through with COVID. And, as Sherry Ann said, with a lot of people having the time and being at home and being on a computer, just taking what you have and your knowledge and putting that on such a platform, I think it's a really great idea for entrepreneurs today.
Thank you so much. Shakina.
I would say take a leap of faith. And if you want to do something, think about it, plan it, and take a chance and do it. I think too many, especially from our community, a lot of ideas end up in the cemetery because people shoulda, coulda, woulda. And I think, we keep talking about self-sustaining, self-reliant, self-sufficient, but we're never going to get there if people don't take a leap of faith and do something for themselves. And I love it when people from our community, male or female, do a business, no matter how big or small, because it tells me that they're doing something for themselves. They're not dependent on other people. And I think that's really, really important that we're women of a certain age. What are we doing to train the younger people coming behind us to take that leap of faith, just like we have? What example, what baton are we passing on to them? So I think for me, we've got to do it first, and then we've got to pass a good baton on before we have to stop doing what we're doing. So take a leap of faith.
Take a leap of faith. Feel the fear and do it anyway, right?
Yeah.
I like that. Yvonne.
I think interesting what Shakina said about passing it on. I think I made a commitment 2 years ago to always mentor young women, but I've had some very challenging experiences mentoring young women who think they know it anyway, and they get to a little point, where the local authority offers them 14,000 or something, and then all of a sudden I don't hear from them anymore. And young women who, I'm doing something in a particular area, and they say I'm trying to make a name for myself, me, who works global in some small town somewhere. Do you know what I mean? So it's I found it kind of challenging But I'm still open. But I find it challenging sort of mentoring some of these younger women. But having said that, I think people should take the leap. I agree with other speakers. I totally with Tonya in terms of looking at technology. I myself have just entered the cybersecurity industry at ground level, and I'm kind of doing stuff in that industry now and looking to develop a new business in that sector. And so I think technology is absolutely important. And I think people who have ideas need. It's not hard to do research because we have the internet. You can easily find out if there is a market for your product or service. It's not too complicated. I don't know how the libraries are functioning now, if they're back up again, but there are tools and resources out there. Just have a look. What you want to sell. Is it selling? Where does it sell? Does it sell better in Australia than it does here? Is it something you might need to export? Is it something, just have a little think first. And as Shakina said, a little bit of planning. A little bit of planning helps.
Thank
and
you.
Come to the mastermind group on a Thursday lunchtime.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about that in case we forget to say. Just tell us.
I thought I'd do something, and because I don't want to do any heavy lifting around the work I used to do before. But I thought I've been thinking about a mastermind group for about 2 years now, and I thought maybe now is the time because people keep asking me, why won't I do anything? And so basically, it's a mastermind group is a kind of intimate space. So people will need to go to my website or go to Just Tickets, email me and apply, because people talk about sensitive issues around their business. So we need to be sure that we've got the right kind of people in the room. I don't want people to come in there and use people's ideas or not.
You want to say teeth.
Teeth, yes. Do you know what I mean? So I want people with integrity. But the whole idea is, I'm there with 20 odd years experience, and there will be experts every month. There'll be an expert on a particular topic, and in the room, because as Tonya said clearly, you can do an MBA, but the real business, the nitty gritty of business, is from experience. So regardless, in the room, there will be people with ideas, with knowledge, with, so if you've got a burning question, you've got something that's niggling in your own business and this thing is like beating you. In that mastermind group, there will be several people who will have ideas as to how you can, get out of that situation or find a resolution. So it's that kind of thing, yeah.
Like that. So it will be on your page, hopefully soon.
So it's on my website. They can go on my website, YvonnePWitter.com.
Say that again.
It's YvonnePWitter.com.
Yvonne, like the normal Yvonne, YVONNE, P for Paul, Witter, WITTER.com. Right.
And they scroll down and then they come just.
And it'll be there. And in any case, send it to me and I'll put it out there.
Yeah.
Because one hand can't shake, right?
No.
One hand can't clap. So we have to help each other by sharing those things. Shakina, how can people get hold of you?
On my email, my website's being constructed at the moment for the Gambian market, so that's been but my email is nubianlc@aol.co.uk.
nubianlc
at aol.co.uk.
It's a long time since I've heard about AOL.
I started out with them as a virgin on the internet.
Yeah, me too. I had them and then I moved over to Gmail and now I have my own website. But Tonya, how can people get hold of you?
Yes, so they can contact me through my website, which is just my name without the hyphen. So it's Tonya McNeal-Weary.com. So my entire name, no hyphen, TonyaMcNeal-Weary.com. They can also connect with me on Facebook. I have a Facebook page, which is Think Global with Tonya McNeal-Weary. So they can find me there. They can also find our group, which is Women Going Global. It's a group on Facebook, and they can find me there as well.
And can I just say, I've been to Cairo with Tonya's group earlier this year, and it's a fantastic trip. If you ever think of
Wow.
wanting to join Tonya's trips when she takes women out globally, yeah, loved it.
I want to come to the next one when they start letting people be
Yeah,
free.
yeah,
And when Rona goes home,
yeah.
then I would like to come. To all the people on the Facebook page that is saying, hi guys, happy to help out. That's Elaine, and give advice. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
If you wanna
yeah.
look on the page, thank you so much. Pauline Gale, obviously Yvonne's just answered it. How can the information be found for Yvonne? Well, she just gave it, and also I'll share it to my page. If you all share it to our page, that makes, more hands clapping. Welcome author Jackie Blackett and Linda Augustine and Lindell Danzy Black, who is a global entrepreneur based in Guyana. I think she's just joined your group, Tonya. And she's in Guyana, but obviously she's from St. Lucia with a Barbadian father, something like that. Mix up. She says, this is a challenge with mentoring young women. Some want a stage in a hurry without creativity and originality. And that I think, because we're all older, we have found that to be true. They will take your ideas and then they'll market it as if they've been in the business for, 110 years. And my answer to that is their name is not Sherry-Ann Dixon. I am Sherry-Ann Dixon. So I cannot worry about what they're going to do. If they want to go off and be motivational speaker and fake 50 awards, what can I do? Ladies, thank you so much for coming on and joining my audience. There's a lot of people. You can maybe go back when you've got a minute onto the thread and maybe answer some of their questions or comment on some of their questions. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
So happy. Number one, to see Yvonne, because somebody sent me a thing. A friend of mine sent me this link and said, oh, you need to follow this woman called Yvonne. And as I'm reading it, I'm thinking she's not going to say Witter. And she did. She said Yvonne Witter. And then I'm thinking, no, she's joking around. She must know it's my friend, but she really didn't. And when I actually sent her a picture showing, that she's on my page or she's on my WhatsApp, and she's like, oh my God, that's all she kept on saying. It's just freaky how people could just bring you together. It's divine intervention. And so I'm glad that she did that, because then it reminded me that I should have you on my show. So thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you on the next trip with Tonya in 2021. Okay?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And everybody who's on my page. Thank you for following every single week. Thank you and have a good day.